Clippity, howdy, good evening, hello. How are we all? You know, it always catches me out because when I have the GeekCast on the go, I have the broadcast in front of me, so I'm actually looking at myself, which is a little bit weird because I don't generally like looking at myself. I'm not that vain. So, howdy doody, good evening, welcome, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. That's a very formal shirt for a change. Yeah, funnily enough, yeah, I was waiting for somebody if they would actually notice that. Yes, I've been wearing a shirt today. Me and Magic have been out. So yes, it's a shirt with a collar and everything. Very posh, very posh. Yeah, I don't know. See, people notice everything, don't they? Like, you know, I mean, they'll be noticing my grey hair that needs a trim here next. I mean, look, you see, I'm gonna have to cover it over. I'm gonna have to cover it over. Oh, looking great that side as well. I'll be having to put like a community challenge to buy me some bloody Grecian 2000 or something, you know, just for men. Yeah, I do need a haircut anyway. But good evening. Hope you're all well. Howdy doody. Welcome to obviously our new home for the GeekCast, which is obviously on a Thursday. Like I said, it just gives me a little bit more time to write things because normally I have Wednesdays and Thursdays off work, which is still the case. So I managed to get it all written yesterday, pretty much all set up and everything, because I thought with me and Magic being out and about today, I wouldn't really have time to do much in that area. So let's see what we've got coming up today, shall we? There we go. Let's just move that over. There we go. And where's my list? There's the list. Right, so first up, one of the things that we're going to talk about is South Korea versus Apple. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Apple have had a little bit of a well, how should we put this? Pretty much South Korea are turning the screw on them a little bit in their country. Fractal Design, I've got a Torrent issue. Oh yes, Torrent issue. Valheim Hearth and Home update. Yes, we know that's coming. That's coming soon. That's coming soon. So we're going to have a little look-see at that. Windows 11 launch date has actually been revealed to us all. So we'll see when people can start updating from then. Name, obviously, the game and name the movie. One of the popular parts, I'm sure that you'll all agree. Last week, Original got each of them within about 10 seconds. It was ridiculous how good he's. Were very, very good in how he did it. He was like, hang on, I need to make it a little bit harder. So maybe I have made them a little bit harder. James Webb Space Telescope, if you've not heard about that. We'll be discussing that fancy pants bit of technology, which is going to be revealing more mysteries of the universe. Google AI Image Enhancer. It's actually quite fun, this one, in many ways. It's very, very good for a variety of reasons, but there is also a kind of fun side to it as well. No Man's Sky Frontiers has just launched. That actually went live yesterday. They were teasing it and saying, hey, this is coming, and then they hit the big button yesterday and it's launched across all platforms. I was actually playing a bit of it last night. And then Twitch loses more big names. Oof. They have indeed. They've lost more across to YouTube. YouTube seem to be pulling no punches at the moment. But who else is going to leave? That's the question. Right, so do we do the first topic at the top there? South Korea versus Apple. Pretty much it boils down to South Korea already have a bill or a law in place, which is called the Telecommunications Business Act, which basically prevents huge platform holders, such as Apple, such as Google, from tying people into their payment system and their payment system only. But they've actually written it into law now. So it kind of has given Epic, everybody I'm sure is aware of Epic versus Apple and the whole shenanigans that's going down with them and the cut that Apple take everything from their app store, and Epic are not happy about it, blah, 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 taking them to court, trying to say it's a monopoly, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is kind of giving Epic a bit of a leg up. So what South Korea are going to do is actually mandate that there are alternative payment systems available in iOS and things such as Android. So you're going to have the option, and it's very much in the right for consumers. because rightly or wrongly, Apple do tie you into going through their app store. So they take the cut of whatever payments go through. And it can be a case where the developers don't actually get a fair deal. And this is the whole thing that Epic have really kicked off about, because they think, well, I'm only selling it on your store, but you're not doing anything for that money. You know, you're literally just taking 30% cut of my dollar. But all you're doing is allowing a storefront, hence why you're becoming more and more powerful. That's a whole different battle, really. But pretty much South Korea, as I've said, are going to give Epic, who are fighting the good fight, essentially, even though they can be a bit dickish themselves, as we did point out last week, are quite happy. Now, Tim Sweeney, I think, who's the big cheese over at Epic, was tweeting with glee and joy when this was announced, because he really did think it was a poke in the eye to Apple and say, haha, screw you. Everybody thinks, and even governments are now getting involved, that we think that you shouldn't be taking all that revenue and tying people in. So the question is, are other countries going to follow suit? Are they going to push through, or are they just going to wait until this whole litigation between Epic and Apple has been played out? But Epic are now going to use this evidence in court to, you know, further prove that what Apple are doing is anti-consumerism, anti-dev fairness, for want of a better phrase. What South Korea have also said is that any company which does not comply with this ruling and this law is going to be hit by fines of up to 3% of their revenue in that country. So, for example, if Apple were making $100 million revenue in South Korea, South Korea would fine them $3 million. You know, obviously that's simple math, simple percentage. But it could be quite a significant amount and a significant cut, which I think maybe to a degree should be a little bit higher to force the issue, but maybe they don't want to piss off Apple too much, because obviously South Korea have a lot of probably sway when it comes to that area of electronics. You know, we know that Asia is a ground bed of development when it comes to technology and production. So maybe they don't want to piss off one of the biggest companies in the world, but they're just saying, hang on, you kind of need to pay the bill a little bit more. Now, the other thing is as well, Apple were not happy about this. Obviously, they think everybody's just poking at them and having a go at them, and it's not fair. But what their response was that it could undermine the nearly 500,000 registered developers in South Korea and expose end users to potential fraud and privacy issues. Isn't it amazing how big companies and governments always are so consumer active when it's going to be affecting them? At any other time, they don't generally give a shit and they'll let things get away with it until somebody says, excuse me, that shouldn't be happening. Oh, well, we blah, 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 you know. And then lo and behold, Apple think that privacy is going to be an issue. Yeah, this is the same company, rightly or wrongly, if you take the moralistic side out of it, rightly or wrongly, are going to be able to scan people's pictures and upload them to it's to stop child pornography, etc. Now, like I say, if you take that out of it and look at it from a purely privacy issue, should that be allowed? But then all of a sudden they're trying to be the white knight and say, this is wrong, you shouldn't invade people's privacy. Are you still doing the same thing? Is that what you're doing yourself? So yeah, it's very difficult for, I think, any company to say one thing and then do the exact opposite, you know. Who knows? EP says, of course, if they were paying the relevant taxes in the first place, it might have come up at all. Well, yes, I think, I mean, I don't know the whole tax situation when it comes to South Korea. I don't know how they, Apple's store isn't really a store, though. It's more like a travel agency. Very true, Nelbro. Very good point, actually. That was a very good analogy for how the store is it's almost like having a barn somewhere and then opening up for a Sunday market, you know, but they're going to charge all the stall holders 50 quid just to have a stall there, which does happen, you know. They're saying, well, what do you do for that 50 quid? Oh, well, we just provide this place that you can sell your stuff. Well, don't you think it's a bit much? You know, and this, so you can see very good little brew. I like that analogy, that it is very much that case. It's very much a travel agency. It's like, oh, you could go to this destination, but we're going to take that nice little cut, you know. And whether Apple are right about potential fraud, are they right with privacy issues? I don't really know. I think they've just got to say, sometimes they've just got to say those things just to be seen. Being consumer friendly, when we, you know, at the end of the day, they're one of the biggest companies in the world, and they don't get to that point by being necessarily consumer friendly, should we say, because they want the money. Now, if you were consumer friendly, and this is for all big manufacturers, but it's obviously it's capitalism at its finest. If you were consumer friendly, you would charge a decent amount for your product. Now, I know there's a lot of R&D, research and development that goes into stuff, etc., etc. But if you can manufacture, say, an iPhone, and it costs you $200 to make, to physically manufacture that, yet you're selling it for $1,200, if not more, is that consumer friendly? Is it? That's to me, that's okay. You're paying, you know, you're charging the going rate, but is it consumer friendly? Now, I'm not going to dwell on all that, but it's just when they, you know, they try and be the white knight, Apple, and, you know, say we're in it for the consumer, we're in it for the developer. If you're in it for the developer, you would have cut that amount and say, look, we think you were going to make a decent amount of money, 10%. You know, we'll take 10% just because it's a standard fee to sell your wares, games, apps, whatever, on our servers, on our thing, on our store. The bandwidth, you know, if it's a big app, we're just going to charge you that little bit more because of the actual bandwidth that it's going to use to host your files. I think it is going to have eruptions for the whole Epic versus Apple. I do think Tim Sweeney, he was a bit of a dick over it, to be fair. He did come up with some weird comments on Twitter regarding it all, and he was trying to equate it to some other major event. But Apple, I still think, do need to be very careful. And the other thing is that people like Google, they've been hit with anti-consumerism things before by the EU. They get fined hundreds of millions of dollars and whatever, euros and stuff. And pretty much they're always able to survive. And the reason that they can survive is that they've been making so much money anyway that they might get hit for $200 million, but they just think, well, that's pittance. We can just keep on doing that. If all they're going to do is hit us for 200 million when we're making billions per year, we'll handle it. Because then it takes 5 or 6 years for them to do a whole investigation into whether Apple or Epic or whoever, Google, are doing something that's anti-consumerism, and then they get hit with the fine. By that time, they've made 3, 4, 5 times the amount that they're going to get fined anyway. Should they get hit with more? Should South Korea hit them with more fines if they don't comply? Do you think Apple will comply? That's going to be a big question. They're going to be interesting to see if they do pretty much further down the line go, yeah, I think we need to rein it in a thing. I actually think what will happen is they'll do it progressively, and only when this Epic law court battle ends, we'll see. Thank you very much. 51 months. Closing in on 55 months indeed. 51 months. Blimey, Charlie. I mean, 5 years is 60 months. Jesus. Blimey, Charlie. Cheers, Hark. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, you can have that because it doesn't activate because I don't have anything on for the announcements. But cheers, Hark, as always. Much appreciated, you legend. Keepy, in fairness though, on the barn analogy, someone has to maintain that barn. If it wasn't there, the stall holders wouldn't have anywhere secure. Anything else is basically going to be haggling over prices. But it's true, Keepy. Now, if, for example, we can say that Apple's store is a barn. They're taking, and everybody who's selling stuff for a set price, they're taking basically nearly a third of what them people are selling. It's going to be interesting to know whether that would be a fair amount if you were selling £100 worth of stuff at a store, but then you're having to give 30 quid to the barn. Would you agree with that? Would you think it was fair? If you were making £1,000, then you start handing over £300. That sounds a lot more, doesn't it? I know it's an equatable amount, but you know, it's a percentage base. When you go to £1,000 and you're giving someone £30, and then the businesses have to pay taxation on it. So those developers, etc., have to pay taxation on that as well. And then they've got the staffing costs, distribution, rights, etc., the whole shebang around it. They're going to be left with maybe making 40% or even 30% themselves while all the costs come out of it. I mean, you might think, oh, that's a really popular game, and they sell like 1,000 units of the game, but when they all sold up and everything, are they going to be making enough money? So, you know, £10,000, you're giving £3,000 away. £100,000, you're giving £30,000. It all sounds very big and very big numbers once it starts going. I do think it's a little bit much for what that Apple do. But as I've said, I really think that countries are going to maybe follow once they've seen what happens with this Epic and Apple. How you doing, Annie? Good evening to you, my dear. And good evening to everybody else that's joined us. Exactly, Tom. The reason they have more cash than the US Treasury. And that's very, very wrong. They shouldn't have that. I don't think they should have that much wealth. And that's why I kind of earlier alluded to, are they really consumer friendly because of the money that they make? Google are the same. I'm not just going to say it's Apple. It's just Apple are very prominent at the moment because of this whole thing with South Korea and the Epic battle, etc. Any company that has any kind of, well, they don't have a monopoly, but they are restrictive in how they run their store. What's Epic's cut on the store versus Steam's cut? It's a similar problem with both of them. People don't have many places to go. Epic are doing pretty much the same barn thing. They do, but I don't think they charge anywhere near as much. And then sometimes they do pay massive amounts up front for exclusivity. But I don't actually know what the cuts are. Yeah, I mean, like I say, like I say, they're all as bad as each other. I mean, I'm not trying to say that Epic are better than Google and Apple and vice versa. It's just I think the problem is when you get into the situation that Apple are finding themselves, and then they come along as this wonderful white knight that is wanting to protect your privacy and make sure you don't get hit with fraud. And you're thinking, well, hang on, you're not normally this bothered about us, but it's a spin. Let's be fair. It's a PR exercise for them. It's spinning things around to make things look better in their favor. But we'll see. I don't know when the whole court case ends with Epic and that. But as I've said, Tim Sweeney was cock-a-hoop with what Epic takes 12%. That's a decent amount. I'm sure as well. Obviously they pay vast amounts to get exclusivity. That's a whole different argument, is that one that we could discuss at some point, I'm sure, is paying for exclusivity on a certain distribution platform. Should it be allowed? Should they allow Steam to do the same? Do you agree with exclusivity? I mean, you could go on for hours and hours about what you think is right and wrong. You know, because you've not just got Steam, obviously you've got Epic, you've got Humble, which does have games on it as well. You've got Good Old Games, which is a platform as well. I'm trying to think of other ones. Obviously Origin, EA's own as well, but then you find that on the Xbox game, PC, Game Pass, etc. Sometimes there's almost too many, but then you want many because they need to be fighting over it. But then companies want to be able to be on all those different platforms. They want to be on Steam, they want to be on Epic, they want to be on Humble, they want to be on Good Old Games, they want to be on Green Man Gaming. You know, there's all these different retailers, and I'm not talking about grey market, but storefronts like at Steam that people want to be on. It'd be interesting actually if I could ever speak to Michael at Rockfish Games, and I'm sure he'd have to be very kind of careful with what he would say, but I know he always thinks Steam are very, very good. He's dealt with them a long time, but obviously he is on other platforms as well when it comes to Everspace and Everspace 2. So yeah, something like that would be interesting to find the creator, the developer side of how it is dealing with Epic and Steam, etc. Geez, I couldn't see the answer. 12 is a bit more reasonable. One thing I could easily is that apparently Microsoft is the same as Epic's. Yeah, I mean, Microsoft Store is shit. I'm sorry, but there's no two ways about it. It is shit. If you've been on the Discord, you might have seen that I've had a few issues with not being able to update my Sea of Thieves. The latest update came out when it would not update. It just kept it'd start the update and then go nope and crash and just say unable to update, error. The error never went anywhere. I couldn't do it, so what I did is uninstalled it, tried to reinstall it to I think every other SSD that I have in my machine, would not let me. And then I went to C drive and it allowed me to install it there. But I'll guarantee if there's an error, I'm going to be scuppered as to where I can do it, because for whatever reason the Microsoft Store locks certain drives down. As soon as you install, it creates a folder on that drive and it locks it down, and you have to fanny around with different permissions to actually get in there to update it. Because I had this issue a long time ago with Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 and it wouldn't update, and then people were saying, oh well, if you go into this drive and you have to go in and alter permissions and all sorts to get into the folders because they just lock it down massively. But this, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get around it for whatever reason. So I literally uninstalled it, deleted it, did a reset of the Microsoft Store and everything. And then lo and behold, it still didn't work. So I had to install to C, which luckily I have enough room on, but it's not what I tend to. I tend to keep C drive, which is my main boot drive, completely free of games. I just have some apps and the Windows install on it. But I digress a little. Quick question: since you mentioned them, is ES2 going to be on Xbox One, not the SX, but the older one? I don't think so. I think it's. You're getting me questioning that now. To be fair, I'm actually not sure. I can find out for you anyway. I don't think it's going to be Xbox One kind of. Do you know? I'm just going to see if I can find out. I think it is. Yeah, I think that because I think what they've said, and if I remember, Michael said this in one of the actual streams, because somebody had asked it when I was moderating the stream, that they're basically aiming for the older Xbox One generation, Everspace 2, yeah. So the older generation, because at the time when they started making Everspace 2, the Series S and the Series X aren't out, or they weren't out at the time. But I think it will run on the Xbox One, for example. So the older generation, but it probably, to be honest, will probably run on the newer generation as well, just because of the extra grunt that they've got. But yeah, I think currently it's definitely aim for the last generation, but the newer one will probably work as well. But if I remember rightly, and I'll ask Will or Michael and have a word with them and see. But yeah, I'm fairly certain it is. So there we go. Right, we've dived into that one, but hopefully South Korea will do a little bit. Only 12 people have Series X. Well, yeah. Hang on, Tom. Make that 13. I've got one. I'll be the unlucky one. But yeah, I'll be very surprised if it didn't. I really would be surprised if it didn't. So next up, how you doing, Luke? Right, Fractal Design Torrent issue. I did write an actual a good line for this, but I couldn't fit it in the title there. Fractal Design avoid a torrent of abuse. Yeah. I couldn't fit it in there. So yeah, pretty much. If you don't know who Fractal Design are, they manufacture power supply units and also cases for PCs. Probably a few other peripherals as well. I actually run a Fractal Design PSU in my PC as it is. And pretty much what's happened is they've just released a new case called the Torrent. It's a bit of a Marmite case. I actually quite like it. And it's got amazing reviews. Steve at Gamers Nexus, we've actually... I got my... Oh, Lou got my 5G COVID upgrade yesterday. I feel like death today. I was actually, I think, worse on my second one as well. I was just to diverge a little bit with regards to COVID. My first jab I was okay with. I just had the dead arm. But my second one I did feel like death. But it was okay for after a day, I think, or so. So at least you're upgraded anyway. But yeah, the Torrent, great reviews. Steve at Gamers Nexus, who we did mention about the whole Gigabyte issue last week, he praised the hell out of it. He actually thinks it is the case of 2021 up to now, and that's high praise coming from Steve. He is very particular. He literally will go through a case with a fine-tooth comb, and he will pick out any fault. But it isn't just him. It isn't just him. Tiny Tim, OC3D, he praised it. I know Jay-Z. I don't think they've looked at it yet at Linus, but to be fair, Linus is too busy doing way too much stuff to necessarily do a case review. But I think if a case passes muster with Steve at Gamers Nexus, then it's doing something right. And it is quite nice, various versions of it. However, they have found an issue in manufacturing. Basically, the case includes, I think it's a 9-port fan hub, because you can have up to, I think, 9 fans in the thing. And it's basically just screwed into the side of the case behind the side panel. Now, what they've actually found out is that due to a slight misalignment on the production line, one of the machines has actually been put in something too close to another circuit, and there's potential for it to short circuit. Now, they've actually found this out themselves. There's been no big hoo-ha, there's been no revelation in the press. They actually came out with it and said, whoa, we found an issue. We found an issue in our testing. Do not use it, because there's a risk that could happen. Now, nothing has happened. Nobody's actually had that issue, but they've basically said to the whole world, media outlets, people who've bought the case, stop using it, disconnect your fans, use a different fan hub. You either use the ones on your motherboard, however you're going to do it, just do not use it. You can unscrew it, you can take it out, just do not use it. If you want to refund your whole case, you can send it back to your retailer. If you want to get a replacement for the fan hub, which they are working on a revision of now, fill in a form on the website and they will send it out when it's ready. But they've said whatever you do. Now, the reason this has been very much highlighted is that, again, Steve and I think Jay-Z's mentioned it as well. After the whole Gigabyte issue that we mentioned last week, this has been like a breath of fresh air, really. And obviously NZXTs from a few months back. A company that's been proactive and just gone, we're going to do the right thing here. Now, they might have seen what Gigabyte have done. They might have seen what NZXT have done and just go, well, we're going to take a hit on this. We're a financial hit on the problem with this. However, the outcoming PR is going to make us look like saints. So what we should do is, you know, take the loss, create a new fan hub, get it sent out. Sharvel's here. I'll get me here, restart, yeah. And do the right thing. And I think they have. They really have. I think they've basically put up 2 middle fingers to NZXT and Gigabyte and just said, this is how you do it, and we're going to look like the good guys. You're dicks. I mean, at the end of the day, they're in a very similar market. They're making power supply units. They're making cases. Maybe not in the case of Gigabyte, only on the PSU, and then obviously NZXT for motherboards and cases. So fair play to them on that, to be honest with you. And I was just trying to see if they actually mentioned how long they expect for it to take. And no, I haven't got that down in my notes, but they are working on the revision anyway, and hopefully it will come through very, very soon and allow people to get back to using the fan hub. But like I say, I think, to be fair to them, to actually pull something that's so critically acclaimed, but they've not had any issue whatsoever with it from end users yet, is pretty much good. I know you get obviously car recalls, etc. Even when you're the third-hand user of a vehicle, you might get Ford ringing you up or sending you a letter saying it's come to our attention that there's a slight fault with some electrics that may cause issue. Yeah, it's a kind of thing like that. However, nobody's car's already blown up for them to find that out. This is a case of it's just been an issue that they've actually found out about, and they've gone, right, we're going to pull it, let's bring it back, let's restart. And I think when you take a massive hit on your PR and your reputation within the world of electronics, because they can be deadly, let's be fair, any electronics can be deadly, that to do that and keep that reputation going of being proactive and good for the consumer, again, we're going back to consumerism here, it's worth its weight in gold. And yes, we take the hit, you lose the money, but you're going to keep your reputation, because I expect a lot of people with NZXT would be hesitant to get their riser cables. People will be hesitant to get certain PSUs from Gigabyte. As I said, I can flip that, and I said last week, I can flip it and turn it around and say motherboards I've never had a problem, graphics cards never had a problem, but these PSUs were crap. They still are crap. Who will... Oh, Annie wins. She's through. She's taking the money and run. So yeah, fair play to Fractal. I do like the case, to be fair. I'm not too keen on maybe the front. I'm still... That's the Marmite bit with the front of it. If you do want to look it up, just look up Fractal Design Torrent case. And it's just... it's very Marmite on the front. It's very, very 80s kind of weird looking thing. Apparently you're not online. You've just been attacked for some bizarre reason. So fair play to Fractal. Yeah, thumbs up. Good consumerism. You've also got a thumbs up from Gamers Nexus, which does carry some weight, definitely. And that's one of them anyway. There's a variety of versions as well, which you can yeah. Yeah, he's got the old full-on region and everything there for keeping with the link. But yeah, it's not a bad case. Like I said, there's different versions. There's a white, there's a grey, metal grey, and there's a black. And then you can get different combinations with their own fans as well, because they do use a proprietary 180mm fan, 280mm fans in the front, which it's designed to blow a lot of air through. So if you're in for a case that does that, might be the one to look for. There we go. Righty. Let's do that one. Let's just do that. Right. Next up, Valheim, Hearth and Home. Upcoming update to Valheim. And we have a video. There we have a nice little kind of anime version of a trailer for the update of Hearth and Home, which is coming to Valheim. Now, I haven't played Valheim in quite a while. It was such an internet sensation quite a few months ago, and I still think it's selling quite well. But they're progressively improving on the game. This is due to launch on the 16th, so 2 weeks today, actually. And it contains quite a few new features. I'm sure they'll reveal even more of what's been tweaked, but there's pretty much 4 biggie things that I've found out about that are happening. One of those is hoarding treasure. Obviously, what you collect in the game is one of the things, you know, you're collecting wood, you're collecting resources, you're collecting meats, you know, everything that you can possibly do. But treasure, you'll be able to heap your gold into piles, create stacks of coins, and even fill new treasure chests with your plunder. So as you collect stuff, you'll be able to do it. Now, there is an image that actually shows that you will be able to create a kind of vault in your home with an iron grate across it. So it'll be like a jail cell for all your jewels, all your coins, all your plunder, which it's a good little quality of life update, I think, because people are probably thinking, well, it just sits in a chest or it sits in my inventory. I can never see what I've actually got. So some of the big players who've got lots of resources and lots of plunder will want to show it off, and that is another thing that they're going to do. For the builders of many extravagant buildings and structures, they're actually bringing in some new building pieces. So whereas you always had to kind of make things work with what you had and always looked a bit janky and a bit weird, but sometimes they worked, they're actually bringing in some new stuff, but it'll just make the standard buildings easier to create as well. So that's going to be another quality of life as well. So Steam database players chart for Valheim seems reasonably popular still, if massively down from peak. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think in a couple of weeks there'll be a slight increase as well. I mean, we know with all games, whenever there's a big update of any description, it's like No Man's Sky that we talked about a little bit in the list earlier, that's going to have the same thing. It's going to be a peak of interest at the moment. So one of the other things that's going to be changing is food. It's getting rebalanced. So the way that it kind of works in the game is going to be affecting different things. So choices made with which food you carry on your adventures will determine what kind of play style in the wild you can attain. I think they said that your ability to block certain things is going to be relative to your maximum health. So if you are kind of, imagine nearly dying, you know, you're down to like 10% of your health, you're not going to be able to block as well because you're going to be in a poor state, rather than if you're fresh-faced and full on health, you're going to be able to take those hits. So that's going to be kind of tied in with another tweak, which I just alluded to, which is the blocking. So the food is going to be probably a bit more paramount. Instead of just having it in there and just using it as and when, you may have to be slightly proactive with the use of food to maintain your ability to not get splattered by various creatures that roam the lands of Valheim. And also there's a stagger meter which is coming in. So as you are battling one of the enemies in Valheim, you'll actually get to a point where you'll fill up a certain meter. So if you hit them, and then there's a chance that they'll be able to hit them with a certain attack, and it'll cause them to stagger. So they've got to be off balance for that. But that is obviously what you build up in the stagger meter. So it does look good. There's going to be new other tweaky little bits in there. Again, I think every update that they've had, and this one is the Hearth and Home, is going to be very much a quality of life and addition, small additions going forward. The other one I just missed out was there's going to be new recipes as well coming in. So what you can craft in your kitchens and at your cook stations is going to be changing. And then obviously there's actually going to be new cooking stations as well. So you're going to be able to prepare things in a different way instead of just having a rack for putting fish on and stuff like that. You're going to be actually having a Gordon Ramsay-esque kitchenette. So don't expect food mixers and blenders and stuff. I don't think that's going to happen, or knife rack. I think you might have a chopping block and stuff like that. So yeah, that's going to be coming up very, very soon. Like I say, 2 weeks time. Valheim, Hearth and Home update. So if you do have the game, look out for it. I'm sure you'll have a big update to do for that. So mortar and pestle probably actually keeps probably mortar and pestle. You probably just have a small hand axe for chopping, or a little carving knife to, you know, break up them bits of deer that you collect after you've shot them in the head with an arrow as they run off. So that time of the week again. You know the one.
Nobody likes being left out. That's why Special Effect are helping people with physical disabilities to play video games. But this isn't just about having fun. The gaming setups we create are personalized, so people can play to the very best of their abilities. And that opens the door to inclusion and independence, confidence and creativity. Help us level the playing field and create more magical gaming moments. Because it's everyone's turn to play.
There we are. It's always the one I do every week. You're going to have it rammed down your throats every time, because you've got to support these boys and girls that do some wonderful stuff there at Special Effect. And like I say, I'm just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until you just... Oh, so the only charity you're going to ever think about, you're just going to think Special Effect. Everybody says, somebody says special, you're going to think effect. You know, so specialeffect.org.uk. Check them out. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you want to give money to that amazing gaming charity, please do. Follow that link and donate. What they do is wonders for those that are disadvantaged and disabled from no fault of their own. So let's get people gaming again, shall we? Next up on the list is Windows 11 launch date. Ooh. Now, a lot of you people, you will probably thinking, oh, fuck it, I don't really care about Windows. Oh, by the way, hi, Uni. Sorry, I was going to say hello, but I was just on the video at the time. Yeah, Windows 11. This one's going to be a Marmite. I can tell it already. Windows, you know, they do a little tick and a tock with Windows. You know, Vista, 7, okay, 8, no, 9, 10. All right, 11. Not too sure. Sometimes this is one thing I always level at Microsoft is the oh yeah, you got the preview version already. I just think Microsoft sometimes just want to reinvent the wheel. How you doing, Will? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you, sir. I think this is what they're going to do with Windows 11. They're going to try and reinvent the wheel and make everybody just change things too much, and people just don't get don't take to change. So somebody else has noticed. See, I don't. Another one. See, all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Oh, fucking hell, you've noticed the shirt." I didn't nap it, yeah. Everybody there, yeah. Fucking hell. Here we go. Tonight a special occasion. Fucking hell. You just so yeah, key hacks. Yeah, running Windows 11 already. Keepy says I haven't ruled out updating to Linux if some games move towards it, especially. I don't think that'll ever happen, Keepy. To be honest with you, I don't think there's going to be enough compatibility. Although you can obviously run games in compatible modes. I just don't know. But no, not any special occasion or anything. Me and Magic have just been out today. We went on a little journey to York. So, you know, I thought I'd put a show on, make myself look, you know, half decent. Zone app Windows 11. I'm just coming to terms with Windows 10, for fuck's sake, Bill. There was no need, mate. Really? Was your divorce settlement that bad? How you doing, Zornaf? Yeah, it's going to be terrible. Looking sharp. Cheers, Napa. Still not online. No, there's no. Exactly. Everybody thinks. Everybody's thinking, fucking hell. You know, a shirt for York. Yeah. Well, you know, it's just because I was going out with Magic, not specifically for York. I mean, York can just handle me any kind of, you know, attire. But, you know, I just, you know, I thought I'd make the effort for her who shall not be named. Moldavort over there. Yeah, but we don't have fine cloth like this. But anyway, just to drag it back to Windows 11 instead of my wardrobe selection, they're pretty much announced via a blog post. Napa, thank you very much. See, there we go. You can have some of that as well. Thank you very much, my friend. Much appreciated as always. Yeah, pretty much Microsoft have announced via a blog post that 5th of October this year, so in just over a month and a little smidge. So Windows 11 is going to become available. Now, there is a caveat to this. They've said that it's going to be the start of when people can start updating from Windows 10 to Windows 11. However, not everybody is going to get that update straight away. It's going to be a rolling update. And it's something we mentioned on one of the first GeekCast, first or second GeekCast, if I remember rightly, is that it's a very clever idea to update in this way, because if they let the update go to the masses all at once, say millions of devices that are running Windows 10, because there is millions, and say, there you go, free update, have that. And all of a sudden they get an absolute critical error. Millions of PCs are going to shit themselves. That is not what a reputation you want. I know we've talked about consumerism and everything with Fractal and Apple and everything and that before. They were not going to have that clusterfuck on their hands. No way, sorry, Bob. So they're going to be doing a rollout potentially over several months, and it is going to be several months. So like I said, they're going to start allowing the free upgrade to happen from the 5th of October. You'll be able to buy the actual Windows 11 direct or via, you know, retailers, e-tailers, whatever, from that date as well. But like I said, the free update for anybody who's on Windows 10 will happen from that date as well. But they expect everybody to have it offered to them. So every device will be told, hey, you can update to Windows 11 by mid 2022. So you're going to be talking, it's going to be spaced out over 8 months. Now, Windows 10 is not going anywhere away at any time until I believe 2025 is when they're going to stop supporting Windows 10. So you've got another 4 years, and then possibly beyond that, because they did that with Windows 7. They said that, look, that's stopping now, we're not supporting it anymore, but then they still did do some critical updates. So if you are on Windows 10, you've got a time frame of possibly no, you haven't, Napa, don't worry. I've missed it. What's with the underscores now, Napa? Have you changed your name again? Yeah, King Napa, or is this you just, you know, you just keep changing it? Annie, you're telling us your age there. I'm no king anymore. Fair enough. At least you're accepting it now. But this is the thing. Just a bit. This is the thing. Are you going to switch because it's free? Does anybody want to switch because it's free? I mean, Kark, you're a first-hand user now of Windows 11. Gaz is sporting the Guilty Your Honor shirt tonight, yeah. See, I wear a fucking shirt and everybody falls out. He's like, he's not wearing a t-shirt. Something's wrong. What's he done? Nobody's actually noticed I'm not wearing a hat. But fuck it, I'm wearing a shirt. Oh dear. So, yeah, Hark, just specifically to you, obviously you're running Windows 11 now. What do you think to it as a end user? How are you finding it as a... I mean, I know you're kind of beta testing it up to press because it hasn't actually launched yet. But what do you think in general terms, considering as on balance to Windows 10? Now, my opinion is that I'm not going to update straight away. Fuck that shit. No. The reason being for that is that you'll guarantee drivers don't work. You will guarantee that something will go wrong. I will have hardware in my machine that will just not either like it or whatever. I would rather wait until mid 2022. But even then, you don't have to update at that point. It's just that you're going to get offered that at that point. You know, after that time, you're still going to get offered the upgrade. It's not going to just all of a sudden say, oh, well, you've had your chance now. We only offer it now. You've got to pay for it. If you are running Windows 10, then fine. So it's a bit buggy, but I do like the new design. I think that's what a lot of people are going to find hard initially, is the new design. Like I say, this is not going to appeal to many, to a lot of people, but you got to remember, nearly every computer that you use runs on Windows. It's a fact. You know, you might have Chrome OS on a Chromebook. You might have Linux on servers, etc. But the majority of people do run a version of Windows in some shape or form. Be it, if you're old school, you know, a 95, Windows 95, you're on XP, you're on 2000 ME, whatever. You got used to the way that Windows works and the layout. Now, I think 11 is a big departure from that, just because literally they are putting the start menu in the middle. So all your bars are all your icons and that you would have normally in the bottom left-hand corner are going to be in the middle. Now, it might not take a long time for people to get used to, but people don't like change. Humans are creatures of habit, and as such, I think that's going to blow some people's minds. It really will, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. But I think as well, Microsoft again are playing the long game, because they are getting so many devices, so many licenses and people. You can change it to the F. Yeah, I had heard that. But at what point are they going to make that change permanent? I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to do that with Windows 11, but are they going to still do that with Windows 12? I think if they've made the move to put something as iconic as the start button and everything else, and all your icons in the middle, I can't then see in Windows, well, they won't go, I don't think the Windows 12 will go Windows 12. The next version of Windows, whatever it is, I can't imagine them moving it back again. So, like I say, as long as there's a choice, I mean, I know obviously Original says he'll take everything for free and he'll update, but everybody's a gamer here near enough in some shape or form, otherwise you wouldn't know who I am. You must play games and have an interest. What do you think? Are you going to upgrade with a freebie from Microsoft? I mean, I won't be... I'm not going to offend Magic here, but she would not upgrade because she wouldn't know how to, and I'd have to do it. She'd take my advice on that one. Keep it, what's a gamer? Yeah, exactly. By definition, someone who plays games, whether you play on a handheld console or whatever. But yeah, Zone after it's no. Napper's a gamer, as you can see. So, are you going to hold off? Are you going to wait? Are you going to see? Are you going to wait for the bugs? Call ones. I need to first find out how Gregor is. They built in spyware is. Yeah. Harks doesn't have a clue where I am. Absolutely not a clue. Not a clue. So, I really do honestly think I'm going to be waiting it out. I'm probably going to... But to be fair, with Windows 10, I upgraded straight away from Windows 8. I didn't have a problem because I liked the look of what Windows 10 was. But there was issues. You know, there was issues. There always is. No matter what happens, always an update to software, there is always issues. Now, an operating system upgrade is massively potential for going... and I mean, even a basic Windows update can fuck up my audio on this system. So doing a whole operating system, I'm not too sure is a good idea. Because I've had so many issues with Windows updates, and generally they've been, touch wood, they've been okay of late. But then again, there hasn't been as many Windows updates. I mean, I know there was the slightly large one from a few months ago, but they haven't done many updates that have cocked things up totally. There's maybe little tiny ones. So I think that's because he's been trying, you know, Windows 11's coming, so they'll be probably working on that rather than too many patches for Windows 10. So I'm going to hold off. If there was a specific feature that I thought would be beneficial, that's going to come with Windows 11, direct storage as an example, and I'm going to get a benefit from it from the hardware that I've got, then maybe I would. But I think at the moment the system I have is not too bad. So we're still all right. Will, by the way, Shuazan, I hope you're still there. A question for you from earlier, actually, it was from Keepy, and I think the answer is what I did tell him, but just to confirm with somebody who does work for Rockfish Games, Everspace 2 is going to be aimed at the previous generation of Xbox, isn't it? So the Xbox One generation, rather than the upcoming Xbox Series X and S. Do you know whether there is plans to launch on the X and S, or is the game just going to be compatible with the newer version, with the newer hardware? My idea was that it was aimed at the older generation, but it will probably work on the newer generation anyway. So I'll hopefully we'll actually got all that. Otherwise, you'll be just saying, "Did someone say my name?" Yeah, we'll find out on that one anyway. Zona, serious question. I sometimes play on my Xbox One through my PC just for shits and giggles. Being the rock and roll lifestyle gal that I am, obviously. How will the Windows 11 affect the consoles? Will I be able to link the two machines? I think there'll be absolutely no problem, to be fair, Zornaf. I think Microsoft have kind of got it in their heads now that, and especially with Xbox Game Pass, or Xbox PC Game Pass, that they're kind of going to be integral with each other. That it isn't just Windows is for PC and consoles is just for consoles. They're kind of doing that transgression of mixing them together by allowing people to do such things as what you do. I think it'll just work exactly the same, and I think it'll be perfectly fine. I can't see that it's going to cause too much of an issue. The way it happens might change. You know, how you link and how you play through it may differ, because I know that some things, and I think it was Anthony over at Linus Tech Tips, he did a kind of deep dive because he's been running Windows 11, and he did a bit of a geeky kind of nerdy dive into the innards of Windows 11 and how contextual menus have changed and how certain things have disappeared and they're buried elsewhere. And it has said, you know, why are you doing that? Why have you put that there? And that's not right. And so do expect things to change, and they always do. Not only is the UI look and feel going to be different, where you thought something was is probably going to change. So who knows? We'll see on that one. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing anything dramatic in the next few months unless needed. Windows 10 is still supported in 2025, so there's not going to be any big rush from me. So I have no idea who is that actually. That's everybody's doing this. Aqua FPS. No idea who he is. Probably somebody that you obviously follow. So yeah. Again, everybody's doing that because there's even Eric over at Rockfish Games did do a few dad dancing ones like that. My favorite streamer. Hey, wait, whoa, hang on. Whoa, nappers. What? Jeez, man. Wow. Dagger to the heart. I even put a fucking shirt on, man, and you just come in with that. Jesus. Zonaf, so file compatibility with Windows 10 will be better then? Possibly. I honestly don't know. This is the thing, Zonaf. This is what puts me off as being one of the first out the gate to test these things. Because you'll guarantee something's going to go wrong. So, yeah, Tom's like, come on, let's ban him. I'll let him off because he's kind of softened the blow by subscribing, so I'll let him off with that one. But thank you very much, by the way, just before, because I have the viewer list up on my other screen, and I see so many people coming back, and this is actually kind of growing a little bit. First few episodes, 9, 10, we're up to 17, 18 viewers, and it's cool because I know that you guys can get involved as well, and you can put your input into it. And this is what I want. I don't want it just to be me for 2 hours, even though I suspect this might be more than 2 hours the way it's going. of me just yapping at you. I like it when you have your input, and this is how I think it's got to grow, and hopefully will grow, because it takes me 2 days to write this effing thing. So I hope that, you know, for the 2 hours that I'm jibber jabbering, you guys can interact and have your yeah, Chew Penneth. Yeah, Apple wins. Napper's apple obliterated Elder's scissors. You get an apple to the side of the head like a Granny Smith. Cooking apple, they're rock hard. Oof. Oof. Knock you out. Knock you out. Yeah. Oh, banana. See, toilet brush and a banana is not a good combination. Indeed, indeed. Right. Let's put the stream marker there. Let's do that. Time for the best bit. Annie, I will interact when I understand something you're talking about. Annie, I have absolutely no qualms with that. There's going to be stuff that you have no idea about. There's going to be stuff that you think, I know some shit like that. And, you know, it's a way to learn new knowledge. There you go. Don't take me on. You got to name the fee. It's named there. It is that time, folks. It is that time. So come on, let's just dive over here, shall we? So if you've never seen this before, oh, name the game. Now, original last week was an absolute demon at this. Left 4 Dead 2. He was an absolute demon. I think he got both answers within 10 seconds of each other when I started him. I do think this one's going to be a little bit more difficult this week. So if you don't know it, you don't know what it is. I'm going to reveal an image, okay, of a game to start with. It is Blurred to Hell. I'm going to have a timer that's running for 60 seconds. If within those first 60 seconds you guess the right answer, you're going to get 5,000 geek coins. If at the end of that minute nobody gets it, I'm going to de-blur the image slightly. I'm going to reset the timer for another 60 seconds. If anybody gets it in that 60 seconds, they get 2,000 geek coins. If nobody gets it at the end of those 60 seconds, I then de-blur it more. And then I restart the timer. After, you know the drill. You know the drill. If after that, you know, you might get 1,000. Do you know, I hope one day somebody actually puts the right answer in, because then I'm not going to give them it. Because I said last week, if anybody puts the answer and then it comes up, I don't want them to turn around and say, I said that earlier. Any of these answers are all discounted. Tom, you're actually showing your age here. You can always tell how old people are by the games that they choose. Because they're going back to at least 1984 and before, because Elite was from 1984. So, are you ready for this? Because this, you can all have as many guesses. Your face. You can have as many guesses as you want, and I will stop it when somebody gets the right answer. So if you keep guessing now, I'm not going to shout. Ooh, you know, I hope somebody doesn't get this in fucking 10 seconds again, because I'm going to feel a right dick. I really am. Right, I'm just going to restart that, and I'm going to bring up the image and start the timer. And there is the image. Get guessing. Oof. Some fucker's going to get it. I just know. After last week, somebody's going to get it so bloody quick. That's 3. Do you know, I'd even be technical and say that No Man's Sky is incorrectly spelled. All of you spelt No Man's Sky incorrectly, just to be pedantic, but it's not No Man's Sky. Correct. Yeah, it does have the apostrophe after the N. No Woman's Sky. Frustration. Ooh, I like that, Annie. Whoa, Hark! Wow, he got it. Super Mario Galaxy. Pat got it. Well done, that man. Jesus. Oh, we got it. Super Mario Galaxy. It was indeed Super Mario Galaxy. Let me just de-blur that image just to show that. Well done, that man. And there we are. Super Mario Galaxy. Wow. Jesus, Hark. That was good. Well done, that man. Right, I need to give him 5,000. Not that he fucking needs 5,000 geek coins. Jesus. Does he hell is like need geek coins at all? Right. Oh dear, that was very special, my friend. That was very, very well done. I was a bit dubious about the the screenshot because I thought it's so vibrant in colors. I thought, is it going to be too easy? Are people going to get it? But there we go. Giving him the 5,000. So he's up to 607,000 geek coins. Dear. Dear. So there we go. Yeah. So I've just updated your hack. It should update now anyway. I think you were a little bit previous. Can we have things in the last 10 years, please? Or do I need a time machine? Red Plumber stalks dinosaur's girlfriend simulator. Indeed, indeed, indeed. But yeah, he was very correct. It was indeed Super Mario Galaxy. There we go. Don't forget the stupid green plumber brother. Yeah, you're right there, Uni. You're right there. You're right. Like I said, it's always tough because I've got to think, right, how old is the audience? You know, could I go back to like 1970 something? Are people going to be like, what the fuck is that? You know, or do I have to take it from like the last 5 years to give them a chance? Yeah, like in 1970s movies. Funnily enough, yeah, we did have one. We did have one the other week, didn't we? Because we had the Towering Inferno. Yeah, great film. Great film. I like the little green thing. Oh, Yoshi. See, I have no fucking idea. I've never played a Mario game in my life. That's called That's indeed called marijuana, yeah. But yeah, even I know who Yoshi is. But it's the culture kind of thing. Right then, so that kind of duffed that one up. Yeah, that was it. That was the vibrant colours. That was the vibrant colours that I was bothered about that was going to give things away. Right, so now we're on to name the movie. I don't think anyone's going to get this one straight away. If you do, you've been hacking my PC and you know what I've been choosing. I actually don't think anyone's going to get this. In fact, I'm going to double the money. If anybody gets this within the first 60 seconds, I'm actually going to double the coins. I'm going to give him 10,000 because I don't think that they're actually going to get it. I still expect someone to come up with it. You should really delete your history bot. Exactly. Right, so we're going to refresh the timer. Get ready with these. Wee Willie Winky goes big. Colwood, it's definitely not that one, I can tell you. Well done, Hark. See, Hark's on fucking cloud nine now, isn't he? He's flying. He's like, I'm just going to rest. He's just going to sit there and not do anything now. He's peaked. He's peaked. Right. So, 1 minute countdown is coming up and I'm going to reveal the image. So get ready. Debbie does Dallas, for fuck's sake. Dark Knight, Avatar, Deep Blue Sea, Meg, Delvinus, Alien, Smurfs, Alien Smurfs, Abyss, Jaws, The Matrix, Castaway. Magic's just asked me if it's the Smurfs. Now, if you'd have got it, I would have done the celebration, wouldn't I? If the answer is there, Cocoon, Cocaine, Castaway, Interstellar. 20 seconds left. Star Trek. Avatar. Yeah. Jaws. Oh, we're regurgitating these now. Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. Pokemon. Oh, no. Hang on, let me just... What? No, that's the wrong one. No. So that's it. Nobody would get it. Nobody got it in this round. So I did think nobody would. I actually do think this is a bit of a toughie. Really. So don't keep guessing until I've revealed some more, because if you do it while I'm going to de-blur it, I'm not going to count your answer. Right. So we're going to de-blur a little. Hang on, that's the wrong one. I want the image. Come on, give me the image. There we go. Right, I'm going to knock this down to 75% blur and then restart the timer. Fucking hell, that's done nothing. That's literally done nothing. That's a 75% de-blur. That's worse, indeed it is. You know, funnily enough, Final Fantasy Spirit Within I thought was a great movie, but that is not it. We've had Pen Island, Starship Troopers, Tron, Star Trek, Titanic, Armageddon, Jurassic Park. Silence of the Lambs. Oh dear. It's stumping you down. It's stumping 30 seconds. Sharknado, Mary Poppins. Dracula, Fast and the Furious. Delvinist has gone Fast and the Furious. Rugrats the Movie-ette. The Blue Lagoon, Cannonball Run. I think everybody's just bringing things out. Jurassic Park. 5 seconds left. What Lies Beneath? Oh dear, Jurassic Park. Goonies. Oh, Jurassic Park 3. So that was 75%. I think I'm gonna have to take this down to about 40% on this one. So this is your last go for any coins. Ghoulies. Wow, Ghoulies. Right, so we're gonna de-blur this down to 40%. I don't know how this is gonna look. It could be too easy at 40%. I'm not entirely sure. So let's. Oh, fuck, that hasn't done anything. There we go. Oh, this is so difficult. That's 40% blur. I'm getting the. Oh dear, I'm getting abused now. I'm getting the look. The Day After Tomorrow, How to Train Your Dragon. Fuck Off, LOL is not a movie. Gremlins, War of the Worlds. Aliens, Jackass 3, Jackass. How to Drain Your Flagon, Ocean's 11. Oh dear. I knew this one would catch you out. I knew. As soon as I blurred it, I thought, fuck, that's awkward. That is awkward. 20 seconds left. Pokemon, catch them all. Oh dear. Star Wreck in the Peking. God. Around the World in 80 Days. Riddick. You sure we know this? I'm positive, Mr. Riddick. There we go. Right, no more guesses because I'm going to take it down to 10% blur. And I'm hoping people get this now. I'm not going to start the timer. I'm going to get rid of the timer. You are so proud of you. I am because it's an absolute bit and you're going to be close. Right, so I'm going to take this down to 10%. 10%. Now, I am going to tell you that somebody in all the guesses of this has been very close. Somebody's been very close. 10%. Oh, hang on. 10%. That's 10%. Bug's Life. Alien vs Predator, Lost Planet. Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean. Prometheus. Don't keep asking me, is it Bug's Life when I haven't said, yay, well done. Pitch Black. Charles got it. There he is. Yay. Oh, sorry, Furlong. I do apologise. Furlong, sorry. I just noticed that one. It is Pitch Black. There we go. There it is. Pitch Black. Original did actually say, and this was the thing, he was very close because he said Riddick. But Riddick was the follow-up to Pitch Black. So that is actually Pitch Black. It's just before Riddick movie, indeed. Ridiculous. Here we go. Fucking up. So yeah, that is a very cool movie. That is the movie he gets his eyes. Yeah. Oh, Big D Viking guessed it. Yeah, enhance the blue. Yeah, see, that's the weird thing, and this is why it caught people out, is because when I looked at it, it was like, Jesus, that looks like it's underwater, and that's why there were so many guesses, you know. But yeah, that was indeed, and I'm going to reveal the answer just to make sure that people don't think I've just typed that in. I thought the alien on the closest right was boundary. Indeed. There we go. So yeah, it's I thought it was a 2 out of a 1, and I thought this is going to really catch people out, and so I was proven correctly. But yeah, can I just reiterate the name of the game rules? if you get the answer right, I'm going to announce that you're right. You don't have to keep asking me, are you sure it's not a Bug's Life? It is a Bug's Life. Bug's Life. Yeah, I would have done it. Napa, have you, which one have you never seen? Cheeky Girls Do Yorkshire 2 or Pitch Black? If it's Pitch Black, it's a very good movie. It is very good, actually. It actually was a better success than they expected. And I believe the original, if you like shite movies, the original character who was going to play Riddick was Steven Seagal. He was actually down original, but then Vin Diesel took it on. I mean, he was a new young actor, so he just like, fuck it, give me that, I'll do it. And obviously he's gone from strength to strength. Family, indeed, yeah, indeed. So that is Pitch Black, which we believe. I'm actually going to give some points to Furlong and Charvel because they did both get it right at the same time. So I'm just going to try and find Furlong. He's a Force Colonel. He's got. Hang on, where's that coming? No, hit that one. There we go. Let's edit that. We'll give him 1,000. And Big D Viking actor, yeah, he's a great actor. Steven Seagal's just got a bit nutty, hasn't he? And then Charvel, let's find Charvel, and then we'll give you another 1,000. Just again, it's so close to each other. It was a good. When I saw it, I actually just saw Charvel's first. 100,000 points to Big D. Big D could just have congratulations. Really, Annie? I mean, I know he's a certain kind of, but he's a bit of a fruitcake now in the world. He really is. He's gone off the rails. He's gone green and he's called Vin Electric. God's sake. Yeah, he's got to be all economic now. So harsh. He should be here having the guesses himself. That's the thing originally. He should be having the guesses himself. Yeah. Right, so let's just get rid of that anyway. So we'll get rid of that name. Oh, hang on, we've got rid of both. Yep. Come on, and that group. There we go. Right, let's go back. So name the game. Again, great success as always. I just can't believe that people are like, are you sure it's not that? Are you sure it's not that? No, I'm sure it isn't. Because that's why I've not gone, yay! I have a bit of leeway when it comes to titles. If like earlier, if one of the game, when we're getting guessed there, straight fucking hell, jeez. Board game and more. I think I might have some copyright issues with the board game and mobile app, if I'm honest. I might get away with it with this, but definitely not the board game. Not so Fast and Furious because there's no bloody charging station for the. Very good like that. But yeah, no, I mean it's like No Man's Sky. Obviously, people guessed that because I have been playing it in. Yesterday anyway, so people always thought, oh, it's No Man's Sky. I could have been pedantic and said you haven't got it right because that's not the real title. I would have known what they were saying, but yeah, we need a Geek Coin reset. Yeah, to be fair, eventually there probably will be one because I can't imagine that it's going to keep going and going because they're going to have to come up with some very expensive things. Right, anyway, we're going to move on because we are coming up to 1.5 hours. Where have the chat points gone to, or don't you ever have them? They are there, Annie. It's just I turn them off while I do this stream. I turn them back on again for my normal one, so that's why you don't see the little Big D Vikings just turned up now. He's like, where the fuck is my points? I'm not happy about this. I hate him, Big D. So yeah, it's they are normally there, Annie. You'll normally see the little yellow guy waving underneath the chat. Yeah, so yeah, I just turn it off for this one because if people start trying to redeem pictures Oh, for those of you never saw the last one we actually did was from Lewis. He wanted me to draw a clown riding a there's an irony there. Fight Big D Viking doesn't have enough geek coins. I think if he follows, I think he gets given some anyway. But yeah, he wanted a clown riding a fell beast from Lord of the Rings, which, to be fair, isn't the easiest thing in the world to draw. So I did actually draw one, but that is a clown riding a fell beast. So yeah, it wasn't bad. Remember, it's a quick draw. I'm not going to be Alan Howe drawing any kind of pictures for Tolkien's work. But yeah, that's a clown riding a fell beast. Well, that was the last one. Oh, and I still got the Nazgul on the back. There's the Nazgul. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Now Big D gets a point. Now, Big D, if you do actually do exclamation mark geek coins, it should have given you a few points anyway. But, yeah, well, to be fair, I still used to take a picture and upload them to Discord. Yeah, I don't know about whether my artwork. I'm not going to be doing the. I'm not going to be making a lot of money. Means of your feet. I don't know. See, people are just getting all antsy now. They just think, they're going to start fighting each other. Let's see what I can get. Indeed. Right then, next up, let's crack on, because otherwise we'll be here all night. James Webb Space Telescope. Now, some of you are thinking, what the fuck is that? Well, let me just get rid of that, and I'm just going to bring up a picture. That is indeed the James Webb Space Telescope. It's been in the making for over 25 years, this thing. You'll all have heard of the Hubble Space Telescope. So you're taking money off him already? But it's 25 years in the making, and pretty much it's going to be giving us a lot better look at the known universe. It's a joint project with the North American Space Agency, which obviously we know as NASA, the European Space Agency, and also the Canadian Space Agency. But like I say, it's been in planning and building for over 25 years. But it's going to be approximately 100 times more powerful than what is now quite archaic, the Hubble Space Telescope. And it's quite a phenomenal bit of kit. I mean, I know it looks like a PlayStation 5 laid on its side with a satellite dish on top. So, just bear with me. Just grab. See if I can just get that. Yeah. Oh, just bear with me. Let me just do that manually because it's not coming up. Yeah. Right. He's got 1,000 geek coins. He's got 1,000 geek coins. Yeah, the give command doesn't work. But yeah, like I say, it looks like a PlayStation 5 sat on its side with the satellite dish on top. It is a phenomenal bit of kit. Now you can see on top the kind of honeycomb thing. That is pretty much a combination of 18 hexagonal mirrors. They're all amazing bits of kit. They're about 1.32 meters in diameter. So, you can work out the width roughly of that dish. But do you know what the actual phenomenal bit is? Their alignment. Okay, this is the mind-blowing thing. The alignment is they are 1/10,000th the thickness of a human hair. Now, I mean, I don't have much hair on my head now anyway, but you imagine 1/10,000th, and that is the alignment, how perfectly aligned they are. I mean, it baffles me how they can make things so perfectly aligned. Now, you can see underneath... if people are trying to ban people, it's just ridiculous. They have basically a shield that they've got to put around this space telescope because... Gwendolyn. They have to keep the mirrors at a very, very, very cold temperature. And the problem is the sun obviously heats it up. Now, you don't want to be doing that because it doesn't work if you have too much sun. So the actual mirror needs to be cooled down, and this is a phenomenal amount as well, to minus 220 degrees Celsius. Now, space is cold anyway, but because of the sun, and you know what we like on Earth, we get, obviously the heat from the sun. They don't want it getting warm, so there's going to be a shielding that's going to envelop it, basically. The launch is going to be sometime in November, December this year from French Guiana, but it's going to take a little while for it to get there. This is, yeah, it is the one with the picture. So it's going to take a few months to get there. It's finished the testing. They're happy with it. It's now getting rolled out and going to be moved to French Guiana to get launched, like I say, in November, December this year. Now, when it finally launches, it's going to take, I think they said, about half an hour for it to launch, to get into space and everything. And then they've got to get it in position and everything. But it's going to actually take 6 months before it's going to become active, because they have to commission it. And basically, they have to make sure that everything is working correctly. It's a little bit of a precarious thing because obviously the launch is precarious. Things can go wrong. We know that. It obviously has to get into the right position. Things have to work. It has to communicate properly. It has to open up properly. The shielding has to work properly. So they're going to have 6 months of literally trying to make sure it works. And that it gets to where it needs to be in the position in space. Now, I believe it's actually going to be a lot closer to the sun than anything else. That's it, Hearth. That's what can happen. It like I say, it's been 25 years in the making, but then it can take off and be in bits in seconds. I believe it's going to be a lot closer to the sun than the Hubble Space Telescope. So it's going to be requiring that shielding even more. Now, this is the thing that a lot of people are not happy about with it, and it's the cost. Currently, and remember this has been going on for 25 years now, this build and this project, the current cost is estimated to have reached $9.6 billion. $9.6 billion. That's quite a phenomenal amount, really. But if it gives us a massive understanding of further reaches of space and our universe, is it gonna be worthwhile? Is it gonna be is it gonna be how much exactly? But like I said, that's spread over 25 years. But then you add up the overall cost. Exactly. It's like, imagine the cost, exactly what we can discover. And this is the thing. I think when you total up how much it's cost over those 25 years, and it's come to like nearly $10 billion, you got to think, yeah, that's a fucking phenomenal amount. Is that being wasted? Is it really too much? Maybe this should be, put to better use. Now, you could argue that, like there's people, etc., on this planet that need help. We can't get away from that fact. Is that money well spent? Who knows? Because we don't know what it's going to discover. And this is the balance of everybody's dilemma, no matter what country you are or anything. How much do you put into society to how much do you put into science and advancement? But yeah, you can't help everyone. That is very true. But it is an argument. And I think when something like this that doesn't necessarily appeal to everybody becomes the focus, this is when people start going, wow, this can't spend money on that. You can't do this, you can't do that. That's a ridiculous amount of money. And then this is where the argument starts. Now, I do like science. I'm quite very much into science, and I think this is phenomenal. If it starts showing us images of things that help us understand the universe better, and then another 25 years, we're going to get maybe another telescope that's going to go either. You can, indeed, he can indeed. Hang on, let me just, because there is a sale on. There's still a sale on at the moment on the Geek merch, and there's the good segue. Cheers, Will. So if you want to buy any, there you go. Onto my store. New T-shirt in there, Fuddermucker. If you've not seen it, very much Star Wars, Blade Runner-esque in style. So if you want to swear like Samuel L. Jackson and get away with it, buy the new Fuddermucker T-shirt that's on there. Looks very nice, actually. Very nice. Even though I do say most of it myself. It's a thumbs up from Magic. We're good. We're thumbs up from Magic. We know we're in the good space. We get a thumbs up from Magic. We get the middle finger from Magic. That's when we're in trouble. But the thumbs is always good. Always good. So there we go. That is the James Webb. I was amazing. Exactly. Yeah, Elon. You know, Elon just keeps ringing and ringing and ringing. And to be honest with you, he's, you know, getting a bit bored of him just trying to, you know, hang on my coattails for, you know, advancements in technology. Keep said, I do think it's a ridiculous amount of money myself, but I don't think it would help the way people think. If it was put to say homelessness or poverty in general, lifting people up temporarily helps nothing if the causes aren't addressed, and too much profit in not addressing them. Yeah, I mean, there's even profit in helping people, and this is the problem, is that if you could turn around and say, right, all that $9.6 billion was divided between everybody on this planet, you'd only get about a quid. I don't know how many people are on this planet now, to be fair, probably billion. We are billions, but you'd only get about $1. So you pick out the selected ones, and you give them $1,000 or $10,000. Are they going to spend it wisely? Probably not. And this is it. Sometimes you want to help people nick out, but then people who aren't necessarily a charity, and this is going into a politics in a little bit of a way, they will set up businesses to help people. But then where does the money go? It sure as hell don't go to the people that need it. So it is an argument that's going to be 7.67. So yeah, you probably, that's, you know, by next year, I think we're going to be touching the 8 billion mark. So you're only going to get $1 each, so nobody can get an equal share of that one. But Space Valve is going to tech like Velcro and memory foam. It has, yes, because obviously things like Velcro was designed to secure things down and a reusable attachment. Memory foam was to stop in bed sores for astronauts and stuff like that, where they sit and stuff like that. So yeah, it does a wonderful. The other thing, unfortunately, that advances technology, and it is obviously space travel has given us those things, but space travel was basically viable through wars. Second World War, rocket scientists, Nazi Germany, boom, there we go. Freeze-dried strawberries, yeah, all the different stuff, space food. But that advances technology quicker than anything else, because it's currently a necessary evil in the world. But people will start a war because they want something that they don't have, or they want something back that they used to have. So yeah, but I think it's a wonderful bit of kit. I can't wait to see what images we get. Who knows? He's like, see, Keepy's getting feisty already. He's just like, come on, I want that. But yeah, wonderful bit of kit. Satellite dish on top of a PlayStation 5. Show me the images. It's probably going to be, you know, I think there'll be a big uproar about what the first image they ever get back from it, because I think it's going to be 100 times more powerful than the Hubble Space Telescope, but it's also going to be able to cover a lot more ranges in the spectrum of light. So God knows how that works. Again, I'm not a scientist in that sense, but who knows? Unfortunately, science and space exploration is still sexy. Unfortunately, sorting the planet out, dealing with socioeconomic issues down here is not. Dude. Annie's had space rations. They're not bad. I got them from gift shop at Kennedy Space Center. I've been there as well, Annie, actually. I went on a trip to the Kennedy Space Center. It was cool. I did enjoy it. Probably Elon's nan getting out of the bath. Indeed. Yeah, so looking forward to that. Give it, as long as it finally gets to its destination where it needs to be. Hopefully it's going to give us some good images into deep space. Fingers crossed. But right, let's just get rid of that image. let's just bring back that image. And let's bring up, you know, I'm coming up to just before 2 hours, and we aren't even all the way through yet. I've got about 3-4 different things here. See, this is what I like. I don't mind talking for 2 hours, as long as it's not just complete bollocks, you know, because I'm talking to myself. So we're doing good. Thank you very much. Anyway, I'm just gonna. There you go. Thank you for watching. You are all and you're awesome. Will, I did ask you a question earlier, but I think you were AFK. So if you are back and you can answer this question, do give me a shout into chat that you're still here, and then I'll ask you the question. It was always complete bollocks. We just enjoy bollocks. See? It's just my opinion piece at the end of the day. Are you there? You are there. Right, question for you. It's related to Everspace 2. It's something that Keeper Ellis asked earlier. I gave him an answer, and I think the answer is right. Everspace 2 is going to be aimed at being released on the older generation of Xbox, so Xbox One. But will it also be coming to, or will it be compatible with the newest generation of Xbox? So the Series S and the Series X. Now, I said that I think it's going to be aimed at the Xbox One generation because that was released. And that's what, obviously, Rockfish knew about at the time. But I can imagine that, obviously, if it's compatible and it works, it will be released and usable on the latest generation as well. That's my answer anyway. That's what I think is correct. But somebody had asked it, so I thought I'll ask somebody who probably knows. As long as you don't give away trade secrets or anything about the thing. But there we go. That's kind of answered that one. Right. Next up, the Google AI image enhancer. This one's quite a bit of a fun one. So pretty much Google has almost made the meme from many years ago almost redundant now. If you ever watched anything like CSI, crime scene investigation, you would guarantee during one of those episodes you would have a security camera that was very pixelated, very blurred, and what they'd do is they'd zoom in, they'd get a little image of the person, get it on screen, and then they'd say enhance, and then lo and behold, this pixelated version, a copy of the image, would all of a sudden be in high res, and everybody would see it and they'd be like, that is so-and-so, they were there. Well, obviously that was never possible years ago, but now seemingly it is to a degree. Now I'm just going to rid of the chat list. Now I'm going to show you a series of images, and these images have been upscaled, okay, by this AI. It's not it's not done the other way around where they take the original image and then pixelate it. It's actually done the other way around, and they've proven this that it can work. And again, it's using AI, machine learning, where they have thousands of images of people, and they can basically have it, work out what was missing. There's a lot of noise involved in pixelation, and they've worked out a way to reduce that noise down to almost giving you a perfect image. It's all off. It still doesn't work for me, but then I do have a pixelated. So just to go back to the question about the Everspace 2, all console games will work on newer hardware according to console specs. We'll be able to give more precise info on console launch closer to full release. So cheers, Will. Like I said, I mean, I know it was aimed, it's going to work on Xbox One for definite because that was released at the time, and I did presume it would work on an upgrade. So yeah, obviously with Unreal Engine, it's going to work on the Xbox One and then the newer generation as well. So cool. So I'm going to show you the images of the Google AI. It's going to be a rotating thing, but these are literally let me just refresh that because it did this earlier. Let me just refresh it so it brings it. There we go. So like I say, that's the pixelated version that they actually had, and then they got the AI to make that one on the right. Now that is effing phenomenal to get from that to that. Now you would be cynical and say, all they've done is they've just done it the opposite way around. They've taken the image on the right and then just made it down to 20, a lower resolution image. But that is actually what they've done. They've started with the left image, and then because of the deep learning and how to denoise the image, come up with that on the right. And it is phenomenal. It'd be very interesting because you can imagine, like I say, with the crime scene investigation that I was, taking a piss out of earlier in this piece, that they're going to be able to do enhance and literally do it, and eventually it will be used by law enforcement. It will be usable in home security, that kind of thing. So the AI can discover controls they dare to go back. Yeah, very good, very good. But yeah, it's something that's, like I say again, technology-wise, you can tell to a degree, Annie, who it is. But the thing, what it is if you have a low resolution image. Now you could tell who that is, but you would never have the definition. As you can see, the pixelated version on the left of that lady compared to her real image on the right hand side is phenomenally different. You can necessarily tell who it is, but you're never going to get that that change. And they've said that I think if you go from 32 by 32, you can upgrade to 64 by 64 pixels, obviously as a square, and then you can go from 64 to 128. But that's the limitation there. But if you start with an image that's like 128 by 128, you can go to 256 by 256 and then up again. So you can almost go up like 2 or 3 scales amounts, so percentages. So but yeah, I mean the detail of the hair and the detail of the glasses. The one thing they have said is it does struggle sometimes with glasses and stuff like that. So with IDing people from the blurred image though, whereas the deblurred is actually sharp. Yeah, and that's it. Because let's be fair, in a court of law, somebody will say that's not me, you can't prove it because it's a blurred image and it's pixelated, etc. If they can then turn around and say so if we had that, we could cheat a very good Annie. Oh, she's going to be hacking into Google now. I want that AI technology, please. I want to win this game. But yeah, you can see, like I say, could it have good and bad? Again, Elder, I don't actually know. However, they have said that, and there is a whole scientific paper on this. If you want to read about it, I did go to the link. I wasn't going to try and read it or understand it. Literally, you could look, and it had a scientific paper, and it was all to do with the noise and how much noise is in a certain pixel, and how they can work it all out. Again, I'm no scientist. I have no idea how these boys and girls do it because it is quite mind-blowing. Yeah, cynical me would say, yeah, them images are the other way around and you've just pixelated it just to say that you've got good AI just to get the money in. But if they say you've got to take things at face value, but I think it's very good technology and it will, again, be useful in certain scenarios. Bethesda used together 16 times the detail, yeah. Bethesda used it to get usable blurry face compared to what they currently have, yeah. I mean, as advancements... yeah, experts can testify it is 0.01. Yeah, they could say that it's within, an error range. Like, say this guy, if he was a murderer, he could say, you don't know, that's me. But then you could say, well, let's just de-blur it, shall we? It's almost going to be like when they reveal, like, if they're the father of a child live on, one of these horrible... Jeremy Springer kind of things. Jeremy Kyle as well. Jerry Springer, sorry, it's Jerry Springer. Where they say, was this you at the that did this murder? Was it you that robbed this store? And then they depixelate the image live. It's you, and then all of a sudden he gets jumped on by 15 security guards and then carted off. But that's only part one. There is a part 2 and it's very similar, but it's some of you might have actually heard of it. I'm just going to get rid of that image because we'll bring up the new ones, and it's actually called a system called Style Clip. You've probably seen it if you're on Twitter or anything like that. It might have been hanging around on other places, and pretty much there's ways that you can create realistic versions of, say, characters from games that look very human. So it could be from a film, it can be from a video game, etc. Now, funny results can happen. It can go totally wrong. And again, this is using a very similar system, but what it does is, again, it's using AI, using deep learning, and it uses thousands and thousands, probably millions of reference shots of different people across the world, and then it tries to match them and then blend them all together to create a realistic person. Now, somebody's been using this, and you can do it yourself, although I couldn't get it to actually run. It kept failing on me for some reason, and it's a script, and it's very confusing to use, a Google script. But somebody's actually done it with the characters from Street Fighter. Not all, I think he's done most of them, but I've only got a selection of few, but some of them, and they're very, very good, actually, because some of them are like, whoa, that's actually very, very cool. So I'm just going to bring up the image so you can see them. I might have to refresh it as well, because yeah, let me just refresh. So there we go. So obviously the one on the left is the game character. The one on the right is the realistic version that is created. Very, very good. I think this one's very, very good. Again, maybe it loses the Asian look, but again, how realistic does that look? I think that's Chun-Li, isn't it? It's called Style Clip. It's very much I think that's Ken, and he looks like a very angry lady, unfortunately, in that one, and then that one's the hilarious one. It doesn't work out very well. Like I say, it runs via a script. I'm trying to think of where I actually found the script via. It was, let me just go to my web browser a second, because I did actually find it via a video I watched the other day, because there was a script in it. Let me just find the... It was on YouTube, and I can't remember what it was called. Let me just find it. Just give me a second. Don't go nowhere. Yes, they actually did. It's quite a good video. Corridor Crew. If you look for them on... actually, I can probably just bring up their video. Just bear with me. Bring up the video directly. And I'll just link it into the chat. I'm going to get that out of the way. There we go. Yeah, Corridor Crew, they actually went through it and did... Mario and Luigi. They actually did a version of them, not themselves, but they did characters that they found. And the lady from Half-Life Alyx, that was phenomenal. They actually do, on that video that I've linked, by the way, they do comparisons of theirs, and they try and get their friends to guess it. It's a channel I've never watched before. But then at the bottom, they give you the link to where you can find the script. It is a Google document script. You have to run it in the browser, but mine kept crashing, it kept erroring. But he does do a run through at the end of the video and tell you how to do it. So if you do want to watch it, by all means, take a look at it. Some of the results can be quite funny, but I actually, again, with technology, I think that's quite a phenomenal thing to say. I mean, I know that's with a funny one because it just doesn't do the whole head thing properly. But I mean, that one of Guile to start with, I mean, you can imagine that is actually a genuine person, you know, with the eyes and the hair and everything. Yeah, funny shaped and everything. The one of Chun-Li, I think, I mean, she's quite a pretty lady in that sense. But again, it uses or it kind of loses some of the culturism of the shot. It's very westernized. But then again, it's probably a limitation of the actual system. But I think it's a phenomenal thing to see. And again, something to have a bit of fun with if you can get it working. So I was hoping to have some of it working, because then I would have thrown it into name the character. So I would have shown you a realistic human, and then I would have wanted you to guess the character. But I couldn't get it working, sadly, in time, and I didn't have time. But yeah, it's very, very good. We're just going to get rid of that because we're going to bring up the list again. Right. Next up, ones that has been mentioned a few times. No Man's Sky Frontiers, new update. Take a look. Or not. It did this to me earlier. What are you doing to me? Hang on. Let me just... All right, let me just go to that. I'm going to play the bugger manually. Well, when we finally got it playing, that was the video for the new No Man's Skies Frontiers update, which did launch yesterday. I've restarted a game save just to test it out because I haven't played it in quite a few years. I played it at launch, which I think was back in 2016. So this is how far the game's come in that time. And it's certainly a more playable game than it was at launch. It was pushed out way too early by Sony, if we're honest, back then. And it didn't live up to the hype, sadly. So, but over time, they've done wonders of work of Hello Games, and I think it's in a decent place. So I had a little test of it last night just to try and get it to the feel of the game again. And yeah, the base building is in there. It does talk you through, I'll take you through a little tutorial of building a base when you get to a certain point. I am probably going to be playing this on stream as well, if you want to have a look. I believe if you do have a copy of the game, you can get some rewards for watching certain streamers. There is a campaign that's going to be going on with the Twitch thing, so we're going to probably be tying into that, hopefully. So we'll see. An interesting game, very leisurely if you want to run around. All procedurally generated, which makes it totally random to a degree. It's all within a parameter that you set. So one planet that you go to is not going to be the same as a planet somebody else goes to. Obviously, if you go to that planet in a multiplayer, they're going to see exactly the same. But it is a phenomenally big game and certainly much more improved. But definitely regarding the actual Frontiers update, which, like I say, has just launched, it's going to be mostly aimed at the kind of building and settlements thing. And their tagline is going to be making living, breathing, Mos Eisley type settlements and to all the alien planets. So obviously Mos Eisley, if anybody doesn't know, is one of the, you know, the main hubs, the main towns from Star Wars, just to give you a brief resume on that one. So you can do more than just visit these settlements. You can become the mayor. So if you want to kind of run the town, you can, and you basically will manage that alien outpost as well and get them to grow from outposts into towns as well. So it's almost base building as well as being a Civ simulator, really. Yeah, to be honest with you, Phil, and that's what I have been doing. I've just been playing the yesterday I was just playing literally the kind of storyline, although I did kind of, I think I've scuppered myself a little bit with one thing, but I'll probably restart again anyway. So apparently you'll find these new alien settlements on all inhabited planets now. So any that are inhabited, they're all going to have these outposts and settlements there, so you can then take it on, like I say, as the mayor if you wish to, if you're that way inclined. Now, you will have seen, obviously, from the video, the various things that you can do. But obviously, this is a rundown of, obviously, what is going to be coming in the update, or for the update. Even so, obviously, we get planetary settlements. You can found your own settlement if you wish. Each settlement is going to be unique, so it's not going to be the same again because of the procedural generation. You have to help the settlements grow. You've got to resolve citizen disputes. You've got hundreds of new base parts, which again, when I came in and played a bit yesterday, there was bits that I think I've never seen this before, even from like 3 years ago when I last played the game. You've got new expedition seasons. You've got new nebulas, enhanced effects, which obviously is to do with your mining, etc. So yeah. Pretty much like save fell on. I'm going to delete my save probably on that one anyway, or start a new one. We've got more save slots because I think you were very limited to about 3, but I believe that was more down to maybe the consoles, and then all of a sudden with the new consoles and upgrades and technology, they've expanded it to 15 slots. Enhanced destruction effects. You get Steam trading cards and badges, so I actually got a trading card yesterday from playing it, so you can actually sell them so people can make sets and then they can deconstruct them, or if you want to keep them and just create a set, then you can do that. And like I said, there is actually a Twitch campaign that they're going to be running as well. So I am going to play a bit of it while we're waiting for the games to launch. Just as a to trigger Will, you've got a week today. And then you can dive back in for 3 or 4 days. He knows what I'm talking about, as most people probably do. On the 9th of September, New World Open Beta, if you want to try that. But that's No Man's Sky's Frontiers. It does look rather nice from what I've played of it. A little bit confusing. I still don't think it's the best game to hold your hand when you're starting out, but I do think it's quite nice. It is bonkers, the creatures that you see and the scanning and everything. But it is, like as Ferlo said, it is a very chill game to play. Nothing too hectic about it. You just got to realize as soon as you land in that game, you have to survive. And it always catches me out because it caught me out yesterday. So you kind of got to forage and grab things to survive straight from the off. But I don't think it's a bad update. And like I say, it's something that has been growing massively over the past 5 or 6 years. So all good stuff, all good stuff. Right. Last piece for me, because we're coming up to 2 hours and 10 minutes of me jibber jabbering. Twitch is losing big names. In the last week, there's been at least 2 big names, and they are big names, that have got lots of millions of subscribers, supporters, followers, etc. They've jumped ship. They've gone over to YouTube Gaming. Now, those 2 in particular, Dr. Lupo, some of you would have ever heard of these. I mean, I don't watch them. I never have, but I know who they are. Dr. Lupo and yesterday, Tim the Tatman, and I believe he's actually live now, or he was live a little bit earlier on his first stream for YouTube. Very big gamers. I believe there were a couple of them on exclusive contracts with Twitch. They weren't your average partner. They were on exclusive contracts, similar to, like, say, Carnage, who's another big streamer. Lyric, another big streamer. They're on exclusive contracts. They'll have renegotiated their contract. They won't be on the standard split, should we say, for revenue. So YouTube have been reaching out, and I think they're going to be doing more. They're going to be offering more. Now, this has obviously been happening for quite a while. It isn't something that's going to happen overnight. They're not all of a sudden, YouTube are not going to be turning around to Dr. Loop or Tim the Tatman and saying, "Do you want to start streaming with us tomorrow? We'll give you 10 grand per stream." Anything like that, you know. Because at the end of the day, you have to notify Twitch that you're going to be leaving their partnership, etc. Now, seemingly they've left on fair terms. They haven't parted company with any animosity or anything like that. Even Twitch said, you know, thanks for the memories, and did a little thing about it and stuff like that. So they always know that they need to leave the door open for these people in case they come back. It's the same with anybody in the workplace at the end of the day. you should never burn your bridges. I mean, obviously, I think, as we said about another big streamer who's on YouTube now, who is trying to sue the shit out of Twitch. I don't think we'll ever see him back on Twitch. And that's Dr. Disrespect, to be fair. So they're losing these people. Now, is it a shake-up of the streaming market? Are YouTube finally going to be giving Twitch some competition? Other people have tried. We know that. I mean, Mixer came along and went. Sadly, even Microsoft, the big Microsoft, couldn't take on Twitch. Or is Twitch still the big behemoth that everybody can't take on? It's just too much. Is it too difficult to break that? I mean, we know that people like Shroud, Ninja, they were paid a shit ton of money to jump to Mixer. Didn't work out, you know. Mixer collapsed even after spending that money. They ended up back on Twitch. I can't see YouTube ever disappearing, although YouTube gaming are a big player at the end of the day. A couple of things with Twitch as well, with YouTube gaming, is that they allow a much higher bitrate as well for people to stream. So your games, when you stream them, should look better than what you can on Twitch. I mean, I'm streaming still at 6,000 kilobits per second at 60 frames per second. Yeah, I'm doing a podcast. It's not moving about too much. It's not going to look pixelated. But we all know when we're gaming 6,000 kilobits or 6 megabits per second, you can get some pixelation. Whereas YouTube allows a much higher bitrate. I don't actually know what the cap is for them, but if your internet can manage it, you can maybe go up to 12, 14. You know, you just got to be careful of the headroom that you've got enough upload there. And it can pump out. It's going to look crisp quality. The other reason about these changes, some people have been, I think, wrongly saying it's because of the whole hate raid situation that's been going on with Twitch, which is a totally different issue. And it's obviously yesterday, a lot of people didn't stream. I didn't, but then I was busy anyway. But I wasn't planning on streaming because people from marginalized ethnic backgrounds were getting a lot of hate raids, and it's not a nice thing to happen. But for anybody, whether it's to do with just playing a game and somebody comes in and starts trolling, but these hate raids are phenomenally bad, and it is usually racial hate. And Twitch do need to do better on that. But I don't think Dr. Lupo or Tim the Tatman going to YouTube is anything to do with them, because like I say, I think this has been months in planning. Yeah, shitty thing, people. That I think the thing is that there's an avenue for these shitty people to do these things on a platform. If it was YouTube, I'm sure it would be the same. If it's currently on Twitch, there has to be a way that they can kind of stop this. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that is why they're making millions of pounds, and Jeff Bezos owns Twitch. So I'm sure that they need to come up with some way to sort that out. But as you quite rightly say, it is shitty people that are doing it. But losing the big name streamers, I don't think is anything to do with that. Some people via Twitter and, you know, speculation going around that it's to do with that. It isn't, because like I said, these contract changes, etc., and these people leaving Twitch has happened over time. They've had to notify Twitch and say, look, from this day, I'm ending my contract. We're going to do it amicably, because they aren't going to want to just go, fuck you, I've got a better offer and jump ship, because if that goes wrong, your revenue's gone. So I don't think it's to do with that at all. But I mean, I don't watch too many people stream on Twitch. I watch the videos of various people, you know. I mean, I know, like, I hate to bring it up again, but Everspace 2, I know Eric streams on Facebook, Twitch and YouTube at the same time. We used to do Mixer as well. I know trying to juggle 4 channels at once with chat when we were doing the streams and everything was always fun, because you try and collate all the chat into one, so that you knew who was asking what from where. Do any of you guys watch any streamers on YouTube gaming? I remember at one of the EGX events I went to, YouTube Gaming, I think, had only just launched the actual YouTube Gaming, and they had an absolutely massive stand right in the middle of the event hall. Huge. I mean, the production underneath it, it was a big, like, tiered stage, all bright glowing red with YouTube, and then on the other side there was a big TV screens. They had sofas there, they had some big stars there and everything, you know, gaming stars kind of thing. But there was a side door that you could see, and underneath that was the production side of it, and it was TV studio stuff that was in there. You could watch. It was like a slightly opaque glass that you could see through, like a side panel on a PC kind of thing. It was. But when they opened the door, people coming in and out, you saw thousands of leads going everywhere. The PCs and stuff that was it was just mental, absolutely mental. You think, Christ. And that's just for one event, and they're putting that much effort into it. But can they continue? Can they slow down Twitch? Can they compete with Twitch? This is the big question. Who else is going to look at YouTube Gaming and be going, I fancy a bit of that pie? Yeah, I think I've never been able to find a YouTube stream. I think you can still do it via your channel, but it is classed as YouTube Gaming. I know I can certainly stream to a channel. I have done, obviously, with Rockfish Games before. I don't stream to my own. I have been tempted to duo stream to my YouTube channel at the same time, because at the end of the day, you can, yeah, plug and play back end for streaming. It would be good. If there's an attack going via Discord to Twitch, though, that's website's good, which is Twitch's liability. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it's actually happening, but as I said to you last week, in last week's GEEKCAST, the time it would take to actually block all the combinations of one racial slur was days, literally, to just block that one thing. I mean, that's difficult to do. So how they deal with it, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I'm going to ask the question because it was something that I just wrote down here. Would you like to see me duo streaming with Twitch and YouTube? Because the reason I asked the question is that YouTube is more discoverable on smart TVs. Yeah. Now, the issue is that with an affiliate contract, you are only supposed to have the content on Twitch. Any content you put out, you can't put out on another platform. It is part of that. So it's a case of you'd either jump ship or you kind of drop out of your affiliate contract to do that. So obviously you can't do that anyway. The other thing is as well, and I think this is what appeals to a lot of people who are starting to stream on YouTube more, is the revenue cut. I love to watch on my TV, but it won't work for some reason. Okay. Is that, do you mean Twitch, Annie? It's not working on your TV? Or do you mean YouTube, which is it? I'm presuming it's Twitch that isn't working. Twitch, yeah. See, this is the problem. I do think Twitch makes separate TV going to move over once ever. You have a large channel here. Much lose by switching to both now. Yeah, I mean, I always find that it's a very difficult to produce videos. I prefer the live content. Get my stream on YouTube. Yeah, we've had this discussion about streaming. There's no liking of being in front of the camera, do you? No, not at all. So yeah, it's something that I'm not saying I'm pondering in doing, if you know what I mean. Because it's just you don't have to have a cam. Yeah, you don't have to, but yeah, you got to have decent gameplay though. Funny man. Yeah, you think I'm being a funny person. If you get monetized on YouTube channel, yeah, otherwise don't. Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult. I don't know what the like I said, this is I think the difference between YouTube Gaming and necessarily just a video upload channel, as we all know YouTube is. and I think that's what people predominantly think of it when it comes to YouTube. Is I go there to watch the videos. She doesn't actually. Well, she used to play console games. Literally, all that you play now is Lord of the Rings Online, pretty much. I think what? What? You think I'm going to be more? Well, you probably would actually. Yeah. I hate to sound sexist, but you are female. Females are generally a bit more alluring than us nearly 47-year-old blokes. Hey, wow, yeah. I mean, I'm wearing the shirt. I mean, I'm in style. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it would take a big changed will, to be honest with you, to do something like that. One thing I have been thinking of doing is that, and Will will know this because I think you're an affiliate as well, is that Twitch take an almighty cut of any monetization that you have. It's quite a phenomenal amount. I know it's a 50-50 split, but obviously after taxation, let's just say it isn't 50-50. They keep their 50 and then they don't pay tax because they can avoid corporate tax. So there is a monetization issue for a lot of people, but yeah, 50-50 with taxation. So it is quite a phenomenal thing. So I am looking at a new possible option. Don't worry, it's not. I have Patreon, but I'm not using Patreon. It's going to be something a little bit different, and I'm trying to work out how we can implement that. But it's called Fan House. It's not only fans or anything like that. We're not doing the behind the scenes. More t-shirts, yeah, more t-shirts. Yeah, I do actually want to make more designs because I know that a lot of people obviously were aware of my phrases. I mean, Fudderschmucker, that just came about from not wanting to say the other way around. I mean, I still swear anyway, but hey. But I just thought it was a funny way. So I do try and integrate things a lot differently if I can, and I just think the little phrases are always a little good. But yeah, like I say, I'm not out there just to this sounds a bit weird saying it for clothing. I'm not trying to fleece you, but yeah, it's very much in its infancy. Is Fan House. So that's where I'm possibly looking at certain things. We could possibly tie it in with a YouTube thing, but we shall see. I'd have to look into it. I should probably have a discussion with you, Will, as well, because you've obviously been thinking a similar thing. But yeah, Twitch is not a main income. If I was having to rely on my income from Twitch, we'd be very poor. Let's put it that way. And I'm not complaining. Please do not take that as a complaint. And I'm, I really appreciate that everybody. Oh, well, I bet you said that to all the boys. I'm not complaining for you guys supporting me, just coming back and sticking around with me jabbering for 2.5 hours is what I've always, strived for. It never, bothers me that, the monetary side of it. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. It is nice. As I remember, for the launch of New World, we'll be giving away a copy of the game as well on launch night. So stick around for that. If you're not already following or interested in that game, you might be able to win a copy. So we are going to give away a copy. There will be certain rules for that, so stick around. I will be telling you the rules of those. Do we know what the server's going to be? Not yet. However, when the open beta comes around in a week's time, we'll start shaking whenever I mention that. The 9th of September, I believe they will probably be the server list that we will find at the end of September. Sorry, Will. I'm hoping I don't miss too much of launch. Are you not going to be able to play Felon around that time? But yeah, 9th of September is the open beta. We are going to be streaming it. I'll probably be doing some stuff with Will as well along those lines. I'm sure we will. Like I say, we've only got 4 days, so you're not going to progress too much. So I think it'll be a bit of a beta test as well. We do have a vote going on, by the way. Before I forget, there is a vote ongoing. I'm just going to look at the pinned message for to that message. Oh, okay. Look at that. So there is a vote going on at the moment in our MMO channel regarding which faction we're going to be aligned with, even for the beta, because we're going to have to kind of beta test a faction. But yes, there is a vote going on. We're going to see how that pans out. Like I say, I've abstained from the actual vote because I didn't want to influence anything. Yeah, we'll see how that pans out, because we're gonna, I think it's the 5th of September when the poll closes, and then it's a majority rule. We'll go with what people think on that one. But yeah, if in the case of a tied vote, I was gonna have the casting vote, but it's not looking likely that I'm gonna need to vote. So yeah, Everspace 2 launch event. Yeah, a lot of backers know. You should totally vote. Yeah, I'm not gonna fail, and I'm leaving it up to the community to decide on that, and I'll just go with it, because I'll just go where the community want to go, kind of thing. You need your say. yeah. Can you imagine though, fella? Yeah, so and so's won, but we're going go complete opposite because I want to play as them. Fuck you lot, you can all go them. That'll go down well, won't it? So yeah, but yeah, regarding the Everspace 2's launch event, I'm gonna need some serious time in advance of roughly when that's gonna be, because I'm gonna have to try and get some time off for that. And I need to remind Michael as well that he's paying for my journey over, because he has promised. He wants me to be there, so he has willing to pay me to fly over. So yeah, see, I'll go first class. That'll pay. Yeah, I did. Yeah. So yeah, we've got the party ticket. I mean, at the end of the day, the game's phenomenal, and I wanted to be a part of it as much as I could. So yeah, I paid for the party tier, but I think Michael's going to drag me over there and put me up somewhere. So it'll be good. I can imagine we'll all be hunkering down somewhere, just like where we need a hotel somewhere. Yeah. Right, boys. Yeah, I'll take over GeekByte's. Oh, Jesus, can you imagine? You don't know how to start the software. That'd be funny. Is this thing on? It's like tap. Is this thing on? Yeah, you'd be like, how do I do this? Cool. I will. Like I say, once we get closer to the time, I'm gonna have to nudge Michael and see where's best to head to on that regard and see. So yeah, because I know he's a forgetful one at times. Some of the things he said to me, yeah, we'll do that, and he's forgotten about it. It's true. It will be actually, Hark. Yeah, I did say that when you said that you got the party pack as well. That'll be the first time. To be honest with you, it'll be first time a lot of people will meet me. To be fair, from have seen me stream, etc. I mean, I'm lucky that I've met Will before. Anyway, I've met Furlong, I've met Magic. So yeah, it'll be good. I think it'll be enjoyable to. I mean, I've never been to Germany either. It's somewhere I've never visited, so it'll be good to head that way. Right, I'm going to stop there before I travel, because it's 2.5 hours now. I thought this might go on a little while, but you know, it's all good stuff. So we are going to play you out with another video. It's an interesting one this week. It's not like last week's Callisto project where prisoners were getting attacked, should we say. Looks a good looking game. This one's a bit offbeat. I did like it because it was quite funky. It does look quite fun. But cheers, Big D Viking, for the follow. Napper for the subscription. And Hark, thank you very much as always for another follow. Much appreciated. Fell on Hark, Keepy for the moderators. Annie, Charvel, Corwin, Delvinest, Magic and Sparkle Original, and Shurzan. We'll see you in probably definitely New World in 7 days time, just to set you off again. 2020, Aiton, Seacart, Christian, Federico, Judge Judy, Kid Flux, Lemony Lime, Minimies, Nettle Brew, Talrian, Trebs, how you doing, Marcus, and Unicanis. We'll be back with some more Lotro. It's VIP weekend has just started in Lotro, so there's an extra bonus for VIPs for your characters. So if you're going to dive in, we'll probably start leveling the Lawmaster again, just as a heads up. But I'm going to take my leave. I've got work again tomorrow, and it's been a long day. You know, looking this good takes effort, you know. Right, so I'm going to play you out. Don't forget, special effect. Definitely where you want to be spending your hard-earned money for charity. Right. Doodles. It's not fucking worked. Oh, do you know, this has been screwing me over all night. Hang on. Let me just sort this out. I don't know what's going on with the videos. Every time I try and play a video, it's just like, nah. Right. Right. Now we're going to hit the video. Bye-bye.
It's gonna be special. 새로운 날이야. 어쩐지 좋은 일이 생길 것만 같아. 두근두근거려. 새로운 널 만날 생각에 벌써부터 간질거리는 기분이야. 널 찾아낼 거야. 좀만 기다려봐. 널 내게 보여봐. Show me your everything. 도전은 환영해. 'Cause I'm a superstar. I'm gonna burn it up. 'Cause I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar. 세상을 흔들어. Rockstar.
Danger Zone.